Hey, I'm Stu.
And I'm David.
And this is the
Bruise Brothers Show.
We've got a lot that we're talking about today. We're going to start out with
a strongman competition.
Oh,
one of us participated in a strongman competition this last week. Ooh. Find out who.
Find out who, yeah. We're going to talk about our new segment, News of the Weird. There's always something weird going around, and this one's particularly weird.
Yes, never-ending stories of weirdness in this world.
We all know that weird friend.
Hey.
Oh, and then we've got entertainment.
Entertainment, yes. A lot of several new movies that just came out this week.
Lots of new movies.
Big, epic, making millions and millions and millions, and they all seem to be remakes.
Kind of remakes, kind of reboots, depends on what your
That's
viewpoint
true.
is. Sequels of sequels.
Yeah.
Do you like it? Don't you like it? We're going to talk about all that. And we've got just up the street from where we shoot our show at Bardonna in Larchmont, we've got a new taco bar opening. We're going to tell you all about it, and we're going to let you visit.
That's right.
So, we'll see you at the show.
That's right. Coming up soon. Stay tuned.
Go.
All right.
Push the button.
So, did you guys guess to see which one of us did the strongman competition this last week?
The beach
is
over there.
Well, guess what, guys? It's the oldest of the two of us.
Hey.
Not by much.
Is that true?
Mr. Stu did the strongman competition a week or so ago.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to go and film it, and I'm going to throw some clips out there as we're talking or whatever so people can see it. So you're a little older than I am, if you don't want to say how old you are.
I'm fine
I think
with
we did that.
I am exactly 15.
Let me just turn my phone down real quick. Let's do that again.
So it's like being in the movie theater. Please be considerate to the people filming yourself.
Exactly.
Not to have your phone.
Turn your phones off. So, yeah, so you're 50 years old, and you do the strongman competition. Now, I know you do also CrossFit and so forth like that, but you invited me out to take a look at it, and I actually did the filming of it, and I was actually really impressed. I've seen strongman competitions on TV.
Yeah.
You know, the big national world competitions, and those guys are like huge, lifting up gigantic stones and stuff. And I think you put it very well when we did the video in the interview. But tell them what a strongman competition is. What does that mean?
So, I mean, the basic concept behind a strongman competition is you picking up big heavy things and putting them back down again.
Exactly.
It's usually
lots of times
big, heavy, awkward things. And it could be anywhere from you have to lift this, and we're going to keep raising the weight until you hit your 1 rep maximum. Okay. And that could be in any of numerous events, from a log press to a deadlift, squat, whatever it might happen to be.
Now, there's you said log press.
Log press, right.
Is it like a wood, like a tree?
Well, some of them are wood like a tree, but most of them are actually fabricated log, and they've got handles that are set specifically in the 2 different positions in the center. So you have to seat it on basically your lap, roll it up to your chest, and then push it up over.
And they put a bunch of weights on the outsides of it to make it heavy.
The other thing that you'll have in strongman competition, besides the maximum 1 rep maximum, is sometimes will be a load race. Sometimes it might be picking up what are called Atlas stones and placing them on a stand at varying heights and varying weights. So they like to mix it up. Sometimes they're individual events. So when you look at the World Strongman competitions and the Arnold Classic, those are one-man operation. It's not a team.
So you're just competing against everybody else.
And there are weight classes. Now, I will tell you that I don't love the weight classes because they're geared towards bigger people.
Okay.
So like my weight class is 200 is the top. I'm about 170, 175.
So you're at the lower end of this weight class.
Of the weight class. So, and when you're talking about that, 20 pounds, 25 pounds can make a huge difference, especially if it's muscle weight.
Yeah. Well, I saw some of the people that were in your weight class, and they were bigger, and you're not height and stature too, so they had to lower the.
He's trying to say I'm also short. That's really what's going on.
But it was the stuff that you carried was heavy. I mean, there was one. We'll show it on the video where you had it was 520 pounds.
520 pounds. That's a yoke carry.
Yeah, on your
crazy.
back, and you had to walk with this big, gigantic, huge metal contraption with 520 pounds on it, and pick it up and walk a good distance and turn around and come back.
80 feet to be exact.
Yeah, that was. It looked like it was tough.
That's one of the actually interesting exercises to train or implements to train with. Me personally, I don't like to train with a lot because of where the weight sits right here.
Yeah.
And you ever want to understand if you know any women who are ample up here, you want to know what they feel like on a day-to-day basis. That's probably very
Put 500
similar.
pounds on your.
Put 500 pounds on your back.
Your shoulders.
But it sets pretty low. It's a really big bar, and all that pressure in a one, maybe 3-inch square area is really, and so after you work out with it for a while, you really can feel it in your spine, and you gotta kind of readjust. And so that's one of the things that I think a lot of strongman competitors deal with is you're doing things that compress your body a lot because you're picking up big weights. So I think you have to train smart. I will train on it up to like 80-90% of the weight that you're going to do. Like I hadn't picked up 520 pounds until that day.
Wow.
I'd gotten close, high 400s.
And when you did pick it up, what were you thinking?
I was thinking that, wow, that's a lot away. It doesn't feel like it's going to go. It doesn't look as bad on the video. Watching it, I felt like I just really struggled with it, and it didn't look like that on the video at all. But it is a struggle.
I got your good side.
You got my good side. You got my strong side. That's that one. So once you get it up, and then you have to think about, there's a bunch of things that you're trying to apply. So you have to use body flight. So you can't walk normally because you're carrying such weight. So you have to sort of get your body and your hips to shift forward so the weight will carry you. Because
stay
the
under
weight,
it.
let's say the middle is here and the weights are on both ends. So because it's weighted that way, if you start to rock it, the whole thing starts to shift. We didn't really see anybody. Everybody had really good technique at this particular event.
Yeah.
But when they don't, you'll see and they'll hold it in the wrong place or they'll hold it too low, and all of that will start to swing. So now the bottom two ends are now hitting the concrete as you go, and then you just
can't move.
You got to put it down and you got to start over. Now that particular event, it was you can put it down as many times as you want.
Yeah.
You got 2 minutes for all of the 3 people on your team to move their particular apparatus.
Okay, so now we talked about that. A lot of times there's individuals, but this one was a team event. Okay, so tell them about the team.
It was nice. It was a co-ed team event. You had to have at least one female on your team. We did see most of the teams were made up of 2 guys and a girl. There were a couple teams
I saw a couple that
were
had
all
2
girls
women,
or
2 women and
all?
usually I think there were 2 women and 1 guy.
2 women and a guy.
I've seen a lot.
So your team, each person has a weight class, and their weights are determined by that weight class.
Okay.
And so I think there's 4 weight classes for the men and 3 weight classes for the ladies. There is a masters division, which I didn't compete in this event. I don't love the masters division, not because of the age, but because they have a tendency to go, well, you're in masters, that's the weight class.
Oh, that's it. One for everybody.
So being at the bottom of the weight classes, it sucks to be a master and compete in masters because you're going to compete against somebody who might be 300 pounds.
And 6'4".
And 6'4".
And
you're not going to win that
4
fight.
feet wide.
Yeah, it's just not a thing.
Well, one of the things I was amazed with is, a lot of times people, when you think, if you don't know, if you haven't seen this, when you think of strong men, quote unquote, because there was women there too, you think of like bodybuilders, guys that are just ripped with muscles and
Adonis, Atlas.
Yeah,
figures.
a lot of them
not
are not. But a lot of the guys are, a lot of them are larger. You'd almost look at almost obese in a way, but you can tell that they're solid.
Yeah.
And even some of the women were quite large. And so it's not bodybuilding. They're not ripped muscles. A lot of them have a higher fat percentage or whatever, but their strength is incredible. I mean, you wouldn't know that these guys could.
Yeah, there's a couple of different things. And when you're talking about it at this level, you know, obviously this isn't a world stage event.
Yeah.
This actual particular event does qualify you if you hit a certain level to go on to bigger events.
Okay.
But you've got different, like our team was made up of 3 people that CrossFit primarily. I like Strongman, and I have a tendency to do both and train both pretty equally. Both of my teammates primarily do CrossFit, but they are really strong. They really try.
Now, is there some elements of CrossFit that helps with the strongman? Because you know, what is a CrossFit versus picking up heavy stuff and moving it, and what's CrossFit?
Right. So CrossFit itself is a combination of gymnastic movements, Olympic lifting, and HIIT training. So high intensity interval training.
Okay.
So it's combining all those things together. So you're really, most of the time you're doing the workout of the day, or as they call it, a WOD, and you're going to be doing several movements, but for short periods of time. So maybe you're going to do one Olympic lift, like a squat. Okay. So you're going to squat for 1 minute and get as many reps as you can at 80% of your maximum for 1 minute. And then the second movement is going to be rowing for calories. So when you're done rowing for 15 calories, you move on to the next movement, And you'll do that a lot of times in rounds. So they have elements of strength in CrossFit. Now the thing that separates it sometimes when you've got somebody that's crossing over is they have what's called a better engine. So because they CrossFit really rides a lot of line between cardio and muscular development.
So some endurance, you get some endurance.
So you've got the ability to go with heavy implements.
Okay.
A lot of strongman people who are training for strongman don't have that cardiovascular development.
It's just strength. Just lift it, put it down.
You might have seen at the load race.
Yeah.
They'll come out strong out of the gate. They picked up a heavy thing. They walked it that distance, and then about the third item, which kind of happens for everybody, you're like, oh my god,
you're done.
I'm so tired.
Now these items, when he's talking about this load race, they have a whole lineup of different things, from small blocks and heavy stuff to sandbags to gigantic 150-pound blocks of aluminum.
Yeah, that was a challenge.
To a boat chain. I mean, this chain was,
400 and some odd pounds.
Yeah, the 2 of the biggest guys I've seen had a real tough time carrying that or dragging it.
They had to drag it.
Over. So the idea is to move all this heavy stuff as much as possible, and all 3 of you got a chance to do it at the same time.
Yeah.
So the women that are not as strong, they can go for the lighter stuff, and you guys can go for the medium heavy stuff, and the real heavy stuff, you could get your teammates together and carry it over at the same time to do it. So that's a lot of heavy stuff to carry over. And then the guys reset, and we're like, fuck, we gotta bring this stuff all the way back.
I gotta tell you, when the guys at the training. Are we going to do it and that's it? Oh, well, look it up. We'll post the facility that we were at. They really did a good job. Put on a nice event. The people that were basically setting everything up for each particular event, they were out in 100 and some odd degree heat.
Oh yeah, it was hot.
And moving heavy all day long, and just because, not for anything, but we're trying to make this event a good event. I really appreciate that they did that. One thing that I like about the Strongman and CrossFit is that they really can be for anyone. They both have their own element of, I think, functional fitness. You know, as you're working on Strongman, obviously you start out way low on the totem pole, and you got to put your ego aside, because my first probably 2 years, one of my friends now, Adrian, was probably my main competitor, you know, as a girl. As a person, I'm like, if I could just be as strong as that girl.
Well, I'll tell you, some of the, I told you how large some of the people were, excuse me, there. I'm also amazed at how small, like, some of the women were. There were some you would consider petite women. They were short and thin, and they were lifting up. What were those? The carry? Like
called
Stephanie,
farmer's carry.
Farmer's carry. And what was her weight? Do you remember? It was like 150 pounds. I think.
In each hand.
Like each hand, and she just picked it up, and all of a sudden you see her muscles go, you know, and. She's tiny.
She's really tiny, and she's really strong.
She carried it. She did it really well, and some of the other women on the same thing.
And that was her first Strongman event.
Oh, really?
I think it was Brian's first Strongman event as well.
Yeah, his teammates. They did a great job. They did, but I was amazed with how small some of these women were. And my thinking was like, they're carrying a lot more than I could probably even lift, because of course I'm
interesting because
not trained.
There's two kind of schools of thought on nutrition for fitness. When you're talking about bodybuilding, it's a different thing, because your goal is not necessarily strength.
Yeah.
Your goal is
the shape,
lean mass.
to look.
Yeah. So they go through a bulking period and then a cutting period. And strongman, there's not either one of those things. They're just going for eating to sustain building muscle. But some people get carried away with that, and they're just thinking about caloric intake. So like we were talking earlier, Eddie Hall is the current world's strongest man, and he just posted part of his diet plan. And he posts every one of his meals for a day, which were 12
meals a day.
12 meals. And he consumes somewhere between 6,500 calories and 10,000 calories a day.
So we're not talking 12 tiny little meals. We're talking 12 normal people's meals.
Well, some of them are, there might be a
snack.
A portion and a half protein shake might be one of the meals.
Okay.
But you've got people that are just like, I'm just going to consume a lot of calories.
Yeah.
And because they're not necessarily concerned about physique, I think they can go a little bit overboard. Now, if that's what you want, I mean, more power to you. Eat whatever you want. If you're working out properly. But because strongman has a tendency to not have a ridiculous amount of cardio, it's hard to burn off that kind of caloric intake. So if you're not training like a world-class athlete, you have to adjust that accordingly.
Now, with the weight classes, would you want to try to diet as such to get to a lower weight class?
I don't know.
Some people do that.
Do you? Yeah, they do. Because you're going to see a big
like
drop.
Boxing, I mean, any sporting event, you want to lean and cut down a little bit before so you get a lower weight class.
I think that the goal should be, I don't know if it always is, to be in a weight class that gives you the strongest you.
Advantage too. Yeah, of course.
So, are you going to be stronger 40 pounds heavier? I don't know. I don't know if you're going to be enough stronger.
That's true,
so
because like a lot of this has to do with some of your physical mass as well.
So yeah, some of it does. When you get into heavier weights, mass moves mass. But also, your weight class, that mass drops. So you have less mass dropping, removing less mass.
Yeah.
So that's a big debate. Do I cut down? Some people are really happy with that. If you can live at that weight class, yes. Because it's not like wrestling where you're trying to be as lean as you can be, so you're wrestling other people that are that lean.
Yeah, or smaller than you.
It's getting maximum performance out of your body at a weight that you can perform at. Some people, they can't. Their diet doesn't allow them to sustain that weight class. Now, if you've made those adjustments and you can be at that weight class and live, because nobody wants to be cutting right before a competition, because that's going to make you not as strong.
Strong, yeah, because you need that energy.
So if you
strength.
can live it that way, once you get down there and you can maintain it and maintain your nutrition and all that kind of stuff, then great. I wouldn't want to be at the next weight class up. I would have to put on 25 pounds of lean mass, and then I would be at the bottom of that next weight class.
Yeah, well, you told me where the weight class was, and I've gained a few pounds more than what I like. And if I was to compete right now, I would say I would be at that
200 mark.
At 200 mark. Yeah. So I'd be competing with at the next even higher level.
Now,
so,
see, this one had a
lower. I'm this close.
This one was nice because it had a lower, so our weight class was basically 176 and under for the lightweights. Usually it's 200 and under.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so, which is a big difference.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to compete against a guy that weighs 200 pounds and I weigh 25 pounds less than that, relatively lean, not super lean, I'm not saying that I'm not lean, that's going to be a big difference physically. Now, if he's my weight, but he's got 25 pounds of extra body fat, maybe it's not a big difference.
Yeah.
So all those things roll out.
Wow.
So next one, my focus is going to be, I want to try and not do another competition for a while.
Okay.
And really develop technically and strength-wise, so that the next one I can do and feel like I'm competitive. This one we placed middle of the pack. It was fine. I wasn't upset about it. But I'd like to.
And first time for the other two.
If I'm going to do it, I want to have an event where I'm like actually challenge, the people.
You've been working on this for 2 years then.
Yeah, a couple years.
And what got you wanting to? I'm going to do some strongman competition. What made you?
That is an excellent question. I didn't. It's something that just sort of fell in. One of the guys that I work out with, Matt. They were doing strongman stuff, and we started doing a weekend strongman training. So it was just another thing to do, because that's the interesting part about CrossFit is it's really versatile. You're almost always doing something different.
Yeah.
And this added a new variant. So then we could go in and go, well, today we're not going to do any of this crazy cardio, because CrossFit, your heart rate's going like a lot.
You're busted
so you're
after
an
a couple
hour all the
minutes, you're
time,
done.
but you're like, dude, I'm just so tired. And so it was nice to go out and do something where, maybe we worked out for 2 hours, but we probably really did a half hour of really solid work.
Yeah.
And so that's nice, because you can go and go, okay, I got that out of the way. And then, there's the camaraderie of it. You're working out and you're encouraging other people to get their maximums up and do that. And so we did fun things like the Atlas stones in the log, and we'd bring the truck in and pull the truck across the parking lot. Yeah,
I've seen those things.
Exhausting, by the way.
Because there's such unusual apparatuses to pick up and put down and move. Apparatuses.
I have no idea.
Where do you find that? Do you have to go to a strongman gym, or does your CrossFit? You say your CrossFit has some elements of it, but
a lot of CrossFit gyms will have some elements, some of the equipment, because of whatever the people that run it are into.
Yeah.
And then there's some of the gyms are primarily lean towards that. There's a place called Deuce Gym in Santa Monica, and they do both CrossFit and Strongman. But most of the time you have to have it. You go to somebody who builds it. So there's Beast Metals, and then there's Kodiak Strong.
So you went to a different place than your normal CrossFit.
You're not going to go to Dick's.
No. Okay, so you can do that too. Wow, that's crazy. So when do you think you're going to do another strongman competition? What's your goal for training?
It's odd because LA, as big as it is, doesn't have a lot of events that are based in LA, and it's kind of difficult with life to go. I'm going to go drive on the weekend, and with
the one we did was
kind
kind of out of town too.
It was kind of out of town, but that's the closest one.
Is that the closest?
Yeah, the last
competition?
couple ones we do are a couple hours away. The next one that somebody pitched us doing was in Santa Cruz, and that's almost 6 hours away. So
hey, LA, guess what? There's room for
maybe someday somebody will have a gym in LA, and they'll throw some strongman competitions.
Strongman competitions.
Yeah, so,
ooh, that might be next for you guys.
That might be next.
I've never tried that, so I don't know. This would be interesting.
We have to come in and start training. Dave's going to start training in just a little while. We'll get him ready for his first.
I could probably use a challenge of some kind, but I've never been. I don't know. It's kind of scary. I've seen the stuff these guys picked up.
Here's the thing that about CrossFit and Strongman is that they're infinitely scalable.
Yeah,
right?
I can start.
So if this is your goal, we're going to start you with a Dixie cup.
Okay.
And then when you're really comfortable with a Dixie cup, we're going to move you up to a bigger size. Whether it's a pull-up or a deadlift, you may start out just learning technique, picking up the bar.
Yeah.
And once you put your ego over there and you forget about that part of your life, it sort of levels you out. You're like, it's not about how much, it's about how much is good for me.
Yeah, it's what you can do, how you improve yourself each day.
And then you start to see those physical changes, and that's encouraging usually enough. That was what it was for me. I started out with the CrossFit, and I was not seeing results on the scale, but I was seeing results in how my clothes fit and results on how I looked in the mirror, and that was enough for me to want to keep doing it. And because I do have a short attention, because I do have a short attention span, having a workout that's every day is a little bit different.
Something different.
Yes, it's all the same things in different orders, but you go, oh, I can do that. I can focus for 1 minute at a time.
Yeah.
So after your warm up and your workout, your workout's probably only going to be somewhere between 12 and 25 minutes long.
Maybe we
can all do that.
We should film this.
We do your first one? Yeah.
We should do something like that. That's
That'd
crazy. Well, even some of there was 4 events at this competition, and there was several of them where I've seen even some of the big guys couldn't even lift the bar off the ground. I mean, you had a tough time with one of them.
Deadlift.
Deadlift.
A wheel. So it's a little different, and it's an axle bar, so it's a bigger bar, which is harder on your right. So always your heavy lifts, your grip strength is going to affect whether or not you can pick that up.
Yeah.
It's not just that big body part that you're trying to use.
And so
for me that day, it just wasn't. Sometimes a deadlift is a weird one that way. Sometimes you'll grab a weight that you've picked up over and over again.
That's the one, because I filmed, not just you, but I filmed a lot of other people's stuff. Yeah. And that particular one bar, there were several people that had a hard time you couldn't even lift it off the ground. It didn't even move. They were struggling
bars bending. It was forget it. It's not
happening. So anyways, but
sometimes it's just not it. Yeah. So you have to. That's also good for your ego, I think, because you go, hey, today on that event, it just wasn't my day.
Just
But
wasn't
it
happening.
evens the playing field at overall, because it's never about one event or one lift. It's about how did your team or you as a person do in these 4 to 6 or 8 events.
Yeah, and different
It
classes.
levels
I
out.
saw some guys that were like gigantic, and they couldn't even move that because it just wasn't working for them on that
Also
class.
in their weight class. So
in their weight class,
that
so
is
it
the difference.
evens things out
sure
on that.
does.
Well, again,
Absolutely.
I was really impressed out there watching you, somebody of your age. I'm this close to his
old man.
age. All that.
An old man picking up heavy shit. And putting
But
it
it
back
just
down.
it shows that it doesn't, anybody can do anything. That's it's
It really does.
motivation.
If you just, and it's painful sometimes, because the beginning is the hardest part. I think in all.
and you don't
in all
heal as
fitness.
fast either.
You don't. So, and I train differently than somebody who's 20. You know,
Definitely.
I've got my friend Brian. He's a beast. He'll come in and he'll be in the gym for 3-4 hours.
Yeah,
he,
he's a big boy.
he warms up like an old man, and I know Brian's going to see this. That's right, I said it. He'll take a long time to warm up, which is good because it prevents you from having injuries. But I'll go in and I tried to do the 2-a-days for a while. I was CrossFitting, and then I was doing some, working on specific power movements at a different time in the day, and I started to really feel it physically in not a good way. So then I found a plan that worked for me, and I now am very specific. I might go in and do a WOD and do some CrossFit, do one workout, and then do something tinier after. Or I might go in and just have a day where I'm only working on something very specific. Maybe it's just deadlift, and then I won't do anything else. And for me, that gets results.
How many days a week do you do your training, or should you do your or do you do?
I think you're going to get good results if you're in the gym, quality time, hour to an hour and a half, 3 times a week.
3 times a week. Yeah.
I have a tendency to lean towards 5 or 6, but
wow.
that's because I have an addiction.
Well, yeah, it's like a lot
but
of sports are addictions like
part
that
of it
too.
is on myself. I actually get guilty. Like I'll go,
you don't go.
I'm not going to work out today, and I'll be there because the dance studio is right next door.
Yeah.
And I'll go, I should do something
While you're here.
while I'm here. I should just do something, because maybe tomorrow I won't get to work out.
Yeah.
And that's when I feel, me personally, I feel bad if I decide not to work out and then something happens the next day where you can't work out.
Yeah.
So for me, if I can get it, if I've got the time, I try and get the workout in, because I don't know if I'm gonna have the time tomorrow. Because between dancing and acting and doing our show and all the other things, you just don't know what's gonna pop up on your schedule. And most people's lives are like that. And I have a friend she schedules it, man. She always gets it in, but she's also willing to get up and do it like early in the morning, skip lunch to do it, zip out of work and get a workout in. If that works for you, you've got to find something that works for you.
I'm lazy. I have three gyms.
I'm one of the laziest people I
I have 3
know.
gyms in my apartment complex, and a lot of times I'm at home working on the computer doing stuff, and I don't go.
That's the difference to me between going to a Globo gym like LA Fitness or 24-hour Fitness, something like that. Those are great if you are personally self-motivated and you really know what you're doing already. And you can put your program, but even people who are very knowledgeable, it's hard to put your own programming together and slap yourself on the ass and get yourself going.
It's a motivation to
So
it.
when you go in and you're like, I'm going to get there, and all of these people are going to be watching, I've got
You have a trainer or someone telling you.
Well, there's always a trainer in class. So there's somebody there looking at you, and the person next to you is looking at you. So you're like, I got to at least complete this. So you can only be so lazy in that environment.
Yeah.
And you're a little more motivated because the guy next to you is still going. So you're like, I don't want to put this down because that guy's still going or that girl's still going, whatever. So it adds.
The girls are lifting more than you.
Dude, I'm telling you, for the first year and a half, most of the girls that were at the facility I was in were doing much better and lifting more than I was. And so I was like, if I could just keep up with that girl, okay, now the next one. If I could just keep up with that girl.
And throw your pride away, because you don't need that shit in there.
You don't. It won't get you anywhere. And then you see results, and physically you're like, oh, I didn't have this part, or this rib didn't poke out before.
I feel a muscle. What is this? Oh, that's a muscle.
Oh, that's a muscle.
Oh, yeah.
You do every once in a while. You're like, that's a muscle I didn't know I actually had. That's
You
weird.
did find out. Well, hey, I appreciate it. You guys go out and be motivated to do something. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, get in the gym. Pick up something heavy, put it back down.
Stay tuned for the next segment.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
So here in this particular segment, we're talking about some of the strange stories that pop up, and how does that happen?
News of the weird,
News
right?
of the weird, right? I like that. News of the weird. Our
News
new
of the
segment,
weird.
News of the weird. So there was a woman in Great Britain, and she went in for cataract surgery. And in that process, they discovered that she had first, I think, 17 contacts lodged up in her eye, and then
Wait, what?
17 contacts lodged up in her eye. And then upon further examination, they discovered another 10. So a total of 27 contacts
In her eyeball.
that she was unaware of. She didn't report any discomfort in like the pre-op examinations. She hadn't gone to her eye doctor for a while, apparently, which means that you can figure her prescription.
Yeah.
I was going to say subscription.
Prescription.
Her prescription was got to be completely wrong by that point, because I even for my glasses or contacts, in a year's time you need some adjustments, even if it's just a little.
Well, a lot of those disposables, it's like one a week,
Yeah, but hers she was wearing.
She thought they were dissolvable or something?
No, she was wearing monthly
more hard
disposable.
Okay.
For 35 years. Now, I don't even, right? So I don't know whether, I know when there's not, sometimes you go to, I've worn contacts.
Yeah.
I don't
me
love
too.
it because I feel, instantly I feel tired.
Yeah.
Your eyes feel heavy. You've got something in your eye, and it's annoying.
Yeah.
So I never really got comfortable with it. And, but if you go in to remove your contact, if you can't find it, there's a panic similar to when you can't find your prophylactic when you're
ready.
high school.
Yeah.
You're like, where did it? Oh my God! So you're like looking, and you go, hey,
did it fall out?
I can't find. And you're like, I don't know where it went. It's in the back of your eye somewhere. So you've got to kind of roll it around, and eventually you find it, and you pull it out. So you figure over and over. Now, so if there were 27, there's some that were in there for a long time, and at some point probably fell out. Like that happens, right? Have you ever flipped one out?
Yeah, I ordered some contacts before, and it got me because if you get a little speck of dust or a little teeny little tear, it bugs the crap out of you. You got to take them out. So
I'm the biggest sissy ever.
27 of these things.
Like,
lodged up in your eye.
I think I have a paper cut in my eye.
She must not have any nerve endings in her eye or something. Because you'd feel that.
But you know, people do that a lot. Like you see, there's videos like this, and then there's videos like, "Watch me get this thing lanced that I've had for 30 years," and you're like, and it's the size of, a grapefruit, and you're like,
and stuff comes. Yeah.
When I have something that is a little wrong, I'm a psycho. Because I'm like, what is it? Where could it be? Is that mole changing shapes?
People pulling bugs out of their ears.
Now, if I'm sick, if I feel like a little under the weather, I'm not going to the doctor. I'll just tough it out.
Take some vitamin
C. But as soon as there's something that is apparently wrong physically, like there's a growth, there's something strange that doesn't normally happen coming out of me somewhere, I want to go to the doctor. So, to look at something every day, or have an ailment that you wake up.
Or wonder where your contacts are. Like, I'm going to put a new contact in. Well, I didn't take the other one out. It must have dissolved. It must have fallen out or something.
Oh, well.
Just put another one in.
Yeah, just on top of that one. I can't see.
And I still can't see.
Right?
Why? Because it's not there.
I stopped using contacts because I can't see. Maybe you should. I don't know. It's just bizarre to me that you can
ridiculous.
You can go. I mean, I think there's a human nature thing involved, obviously, with that, where you go, there's that thing that's making a noise in my engine. I'll do it next week.
Yeah.
And that turns into next year, and then your engine falls out. I think everybody's had
how'd that
something
happen?
like that. But with your body, it's the only one you got. You can't go get a new one.
Get something checked.
And especially if I've got something where other people can see it, I'm like, I got to go get that looked at.
Yeah.
People are, oh, dude, what is that thing growing on the side of your head? Oh, that thing? I don't know. I just, I gave it a name.
Yeah.
Let it go.
My dad actually had a growth on his neck, and it was a cancerous thing, and he had to get it checked and whatnot. And that was a situation.
You know what
but
it
it's
is.
some
it
weird
might be
stuff
nothing.
Growing. You never
even
know.
if it's nothing, don't you want to get rid of it? But yeah, I can't imagine having that behind my eye. That was my problem with contacts in general. I don't like my own finger in my eye.
Yeah.
So the thought of every day
putting a new
putting
thing
it in
in
there, and then when something gets on, you got everybody stop everything. I got to rinse off my contact.
Exactly. I always had a solution with me and my little contact things.
And then you
had them for a while,
and then you just go, oh, hold on.
Yeah, exactly. You
You've done
just spit on it and put it on there.
Like that can't
There's no
be
water
good.
anywhere.
Bacteria in your mouth.
So,
but we kill that with cold brew from Bardonna.
Exactly. So have you ever had anything lodged in your body orifices and you couldn't find? Let us know in the comments down below.
I had a friend of mine who was a nurse, and she had some pretty good stories. She had a gentleman that came in. This is challenging because I have no idea.
That's weird.
Well, they won't be your eye that itches in a moment.
Okay.
And he had somehow threaded his urethra
Okay.
with dental floss
Oh, okay.
and got it stuck. Now, first of all, I don't know why you would want to do that.
Yeah. Clean your pipes, I guess. Like something wasn't working.
Would you
or?
go with the pipe cleaner? Like that has got to be literally like.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't like the patience that must. That's got to be similar to when you get you lose the tie of your shorts and it slides back in.
Yeah, and you have to try to feed it inch by inch to do that.
That's got to be a similar thing because there's no way that it was not flaccid, and maybe it wasn't. But still, that it can't be less challenging.
I got an idea. Let's get the dental floss.
Right? You're like there.
Let's
what were
like
you
you're
smoking?
Fishing or something. What are you doing?
I wonder if I can. It'll be like one of those puzzles that you put on your desk.
So like, did he put
only
it like,
with my penis?
Would you have to like put a needle on the end of it or something? I don't know.
But people apparently come in all the time with that sort of thing, or they've fallen on something.
Yeah, I have some nurse friends that
and they've got a Coke bottle lodged in their rectum.
Yeah.
And they fell on it. Because that happens.
Yeah, I've heard horror stories.
Without damaging any of their clothing.
This is our gross segment, people. What have you fallen on?
What would you like to fall on? Wait, no.
What did you get lodged in your butt? Yep, people are strange. They do all kinds of things to have their jollies.
Yeah,
I guess.
You just got too much. At that point, we need you to pick a different hobby.
That's right.
And stop threading things in
Start reading, people.
Start reading.
All right. Well, hey.
Strange. We're going to be back and we're going to do more segments of News of the Weird. Is that what we called it?
We could call it that.
News of the Weird. That's going to be a segment now.
Yeah.
But stay tuned. We've got another segment coming up.
All righty. And next up is entertainment news.
What is the entertainment news?
Big box office stuff.
We got a lot of big. I don't really want to call them remakes. So we've got new Spider-Man movie, new Spider-Man actor.
Yes.
We've got, and that's got to tie into Iron Man and the Avengers.
The whole comic thing. Yep.
We've got Blade Runner.
That's coming out.
With the Ryan Gosling. Ladies, I know you love that.
That's right.
And also Harrison Ford.
Yep.
Revising his character.
Coming back like 100 years later.
Right? He's like, but he never gets. I mean, he ages, but like he looks great. He's just got that gruff. He's like Sam Elliott. He just stayed an old guy forever.
Yeah.
They just never. It's past a certain age. He's like, I don't know. He's 50 or 80. Could be either one.
Whatever. Yeah.
And then Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
Let's start with Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
I am a big fan. I've seen most of the new ones. I don't know how they avoided the pitfalls of recreating a classic. I mean, obviously, the original Planet of the Apes is.
I was quite young when those came out, but I did see them.
Yeah, but amazing movies, amazing concept. And then they really, I think, changed that franchise with CGI and the realism and the intensity, because if you haven't seen one, they're really gripping movies. And there's a lot of symbolism in it, of if you just stop thinking of them as the apes and you could give them any other nationality. They could be Russian, they could be Chinese, they could be Korean. Wouldn't really matter. It's the struggle of different societies trying to sustain and live together in one, but with apes.
Exactly, and they become smart.
And they do become smart. And I think it's man's downfall. In general, we're always trying to reinvent the wheel technologically, and I think that always has its pitfalls, and we've seen them historically. I don't know if it'll ever be as grand scale as in we, developed a higher thought process in a primate, whatever. But how do you feel about having classics remade, and it's different. Like that's an actual remake.
Yeah, because they started right from the beginning of
and they did
training
all of
the
them.
apes, learning.
And now we've come into some that like this one isn't really a remake of any previous.
No, it's a sequel of the other new ones that had come about. And I haven't seen it yet. I saw the other ones, which are great. And this is one that I want to see. I just haven't made it to the theater yet to see it. But
I want to see it. I got to be honest. I haven't seen it because it's not something that my wife is ever going to be interested in seeing.
Yeah.
She doesn't really like those kind of movies.
Really?
No. I love them. I can suspend belief long enough.
Exactly. Well, I think that, like I said, the technology and the graphics and the stuff, and I like watching how they're made because, you know, as an actors, we always like behind the scenes stuff to it. But it's incredible what they can do to it. So I'm looking forward to seeing it.
That's a whole different challenge in itself, is that movies like that, so much of an actor, you might be acting to a green ball on a stick or a guy in a suit
with all these
not going to be so I mean, I don't think people understand how challenging that is as an actor. We talk a lot about where you're going to get your motivation from, or where you're going to get your inspiration from.
We need you to react
and you've
to
got
nothing.
to react to this cup, you know, whatever it is.
It's a monster.
It's a monster.
Go for it.
Yeah. It's amazing that they can even do it. So the next one in that line, we'll have to come back and we'll talk about it after we've seen it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they did it. It's sometimes I'm disappointed when they have a remake because before you've even seen it, you're expecting it to be ruined.
Expectations, yeah.
And
so you just want to leave the classics alone.
How can it possibly be better than the original?
Leave the classics alone.
And then you hear people that have only seen the remake, and they're like, "Oh, I love that movie. It was such a great movie."
Yeah, there's a lot of younger crowd.
Yeah, and so I get that. I'm like, "Well, you haven't seen the original?" And they're like, well, "There was an original?"
Mm-hmm. But when they do, the technology is so old, and it looks so bad.
It is.
In comparisons, they can't appreciate that.
It's like when you go back and watch a movie like Nightmare on Elm Street, which was terrifying when you saw it.
Oh yeah,
and then you watch it, you know, now, and you're like, this is the cheesiest, worst special effects in the world. How did this movie ever get made?
Yeah.
But at the time, it was cutting edge.
Yeah, well, even as the Star Wars franchise, you know, you go back to the originals when we were young kids versus the ones today. They're so different.
Or the Terminator series.
Yeah, you know, any of them.
That was on a micro budget, but and they did amazing stuff with that first
They were pioneers. I mean, all these movies were pioneers and stuff. Things keep changing.
So the next one is the Spider-Man. And also not really a remake, but kind of. Like we're basically starting at the beginning of his story.
Yeah, and the last one was a remake with Tobey Maguire too. There was
one in between.
They like keep remaking. Let's go back to the original story where he get bit and the uncle and the aunt and all that kind of stuff. It's just the same story retold.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Well, because they make a lot of money at it.
Right, because we want to see it. And there is new technology that's added, but I think this is I haven't seen it yet. I really do want to see it. But from what I've heard, it stands up on its own.
Well, people at first were worried about it. They're like, oh God, here comes another one. But then I'm seeing reviews of people going, wow, that was really good. And people are really like, even the new guy.
It has the tie-in to you know, the awkwardness and that a teenager would really have. I think they capture a little bit better. And then we have this tie-in of Tony Stark, who is basically his mentor and is trying to keep him out of trouble and on the right path. And you know, he's finding his own path at the same time. And you know, I think that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, and that's their way to merge all these movies together because they make more money.
Yeah, I mean,
more money.
I can't even imagine how.
I want to see it.
I mean, how old is Stan Lee now?
Oh, I don't know. His wife just passed away too.
I didn't know.
I just saw that on the news.
But
he's old. He's in his like 80s. I think.
Something that started with just comic books.
Yeah.
Nowhere near a place where there was any kind of technology to bring that kind of story to life more than a comic book could at that time.
Yeah. Oh, cartoons. And cartoons. With Saturday morning cartoons.
And then to slowly develop and watch your life's work develop and grow into technology that can finally bring to life that story and that concept that you only could really see in your head. You could try and get it down on paper, and you could try and get it down on cartoons, and then to be able to go, that's it, right there. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's epic.
And it's really, when you think about it, it's really like the same story as the, you know, reinventing the Greek gods, you know, they having superpowers and all that kind of stuff. But I love the whole concept of what would you do if you had all of this amazing power? Would you do good with it, or would you do bad with it? I probably would do a combination of both.
What's your secret power? Hey, you guys, let's make this interactive. Tell us what you think of remakes. Put comments down
and
below.
What kind of remakes do you like? What kind of remakes don't you like?
Yeah, or you don't want
Is
any
there
part
a
of it.
remake that you'd like to see?
Ooh, an old movie come back.
What's something that you'd like to see come back?
Now, I don't go to theaters very often, but when I do, it's pretty much for these larger epical. I make up words as I go along. Epical movies. Epical movies. But, you know, the big action ones, things like that. Wonder Woman, I'll see.
I am a big believer in that. There's certain things that you must see on a big screen because there's something that's lost even when you've got it. I mean, obviously everybody now has a gigantic LCD.
I don't
TV.
do 3D because it makes me dizzy. I get nauseous watching 3D movies. But those are the only ones I'll see. Dramas, skip it. I'll watch it at home when it comes out.
I don't mind watching things that aren't
even comedies.
but I will, like, The Big Sick is out, getting rave reviews.
No.
I'd like to see it. But I could also wait for it to be on TV because it's a rom-com and I don't need a big screen for a rom-com.
Yeah, exactly. But now, we mentioned another one, Blade Runner.
Blade Runner.
They've been talking about this for a while
I gotta tell you,
now.
I'm a huge fan, not obsessive, about it in that way, but I am really glad it's not really a remake. It's just kind of a sequel.
Okay.
But they're bringing back Harrison Ford as his original character, which I think is amazing. It's a dark. To me, the thing that was a big plus and a big buy-in for the Blade Runner concept is that, to me, that's how the future probably would be. Most of the time when you have a futuristic movie, we've made all these technological jumps and nuts. The sky is falling. And the world is squeaky clean and beautiful, but that's not really how it could possibly be. Even now, you've got a 150-year-old building next to a brand new skyscraper. So we've always are going to have that mix. And, it is going to get dirtier and grittier and blah, 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 blah. So I like the way that they kind of merged those two things.
Technology,
and it's dark and it's gritty and it's probably how the world is going to be at some point.
You still have criminals and you still have
all those things.
Stuff going on.
And I don't think the world ever gets as squeaky clean as a lot of sci-fi, futuristic movies.
There's always a dark side.
There's always going to be a dark side.
The dark side.
It may not have, James Earl Jones in it, but
exactly. And I remember vaguely the original Blade Runner because I saw it, but it was a long time ago. I'd have to bring it back. Again, it's one of those things is you watch that old movie versus the new one, you're gonna go, God, that sucks.
Now, this one they were really smart because of
technology back then.
The technology was good and because it was shot in a murky, dark world.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Hides, I think that the darkness and in general in special effects hides a multitude of sins.
Yeah.
Because the layering is there and the shadow is there. When you get that bright big scene like in a Star Wars movie where it's in the desert, you're not hiding anything.
No.
Either it's right or it's not right. And so I think that is the benefit of having a world that's a little on the darker, grittier side.
That would be fun. I'd love to do it.
And they've retouched it a bunch. Like you've got the remastered versions, which I think is amazing. I don't know how they do that.
Just digital. The technology comes out.
It's like retouching ancient works of art, but with film. I don't know how they do it.
The technology. No, those should be good. Good movies to watch.
So get out there, see a new movie, support movies, see an indie movie. Right. You could see, what was that one you were just in? Crossings?
Caps Crossing.
Caps Crossing.
Yep.
Support art.
Yeah.
And we're going to come back with another episode on our friends who've opened up a new taco bar.
Oh, tacos.
Tacos.
All right, let's go check it out.
All right, everybody, we're here at Tacos Tu Madre at their grand opening on Larchmont Boulevard. If you haven't been here yet, come check it out. We're going to take a little tour, show you what they've got on the menu, and maybe talk to the owner. All right, we're here at Tacos Tu Madre with Luis, and he's going to tell us a little bit about the new taco bar. You guys are at your soft grand opening right now?
Soft grand opening today. It's more like we wanted to open a little fresh to see, like, give that the vibe that we're out here. And Sunday's gonna be our grand opening, which we're gonna have like some free tacos. We're gonna have everything out so far. We're gonna have our frozen horchata that we promised people that keep
Frozen what?
Frozen horchata.
Frozen horchata. Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
Is that one of your like featured items?
Yeah, we used to have it, but we had to take it out because our stores weren't as big and didn't have enough space. But since we have a big space now and we have like a big dining area too, we're gonna be able to have it, and since our kitchen's big too, so.
Nice. Now this is your third location?
Third location. We have one at Westwood Boulevard and at Los Feliz on Hollywood.
Fantastic. Now you've got a nice menu here that I see. You've got some things that I'm surprised at that I hadn't been aware that you guys do, and I think they're neat. So you have a fried chicken taco burrito?
We have a fried chicken, which is buttermilk deep fried chicken, and it comes with 3 pieces of chicken for the burrito. It comes with coleslaw, and it comes with the honey sriracha, which honey sriracha is like literally sriracha and honey mixed in together, which is really good.
Fantastic. I also see an interesting item, the fried avocado.
Fried avocado. That has been brought back. We used to have it, but we took it out of the menu as well because we rotate our menus a lot. So this is our summer menu, and so the fried avocado is basically a vegan option, and it's cut up avocados and it's deep fried with fried onions and like chipotle olive. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm excited.
I've had fried avocado before, and it is amazing. I don't understand how you even bread a piece of avocado, but when you have it, your mouth will thank you. What's your favorite item on the menu?
My favorite would probably be Korean barbecue and the spicy citrus carnitas. The Korean barbecue is not on the menu, but it's one of our specials for today.
Oh, we got a secret menu, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, we do. There's a bunch of stuff that's not on the menu, but some of our, like old school and OG customers, they know most of it, and they're gonna be asking. We're like, yes, we do have it. So
if I'm coming up to the window, they've got a beautiful window over here that you can maybe pan over to. If I'm looking to grab something that's not on the menu, do I have to just be knowledgeable on that, or do I go to, hey, what's not on your menu?
So most of our people do know about it, but like people do ask, like you used to have this, and we're like, oh yeah, we still have it. And like on our Instagram page, we also have some stuff there too. And you should just, if you look us up on social media, it should pop up a bunch of stuff that you probably didn't know about, and you just come in and ask us, and we'll let you know.
Gotcha. And where can we find the restaurant on Twitter and Instagram?
So it's Tacos Tu Madre. You just search up that and it should pop up.
Nice. Now, how long have you worked for the company?
I've been working here for 10 months now.
10 months. Where did you start?
Where did I start?
Which one did you start at?
I started at Westwood. As cashier there. I started during winter, so I wasn't as busy, but then when summer hit, it's like,
it's always busy in LA because we don't really have winter. We have winter in the morning, and then it's summer again.
Yeah.
So now this you guys have been working on, there was a different restaurant here, and that wasn't that long ago. You guys opened pretty fast.
Yeah. I mean, we're like that because like we're not as organized, but we just want to throw it out there just to,
I like that because we're not as organized.
Yeah, because
you guys seem to have done a very efficient job of getting it switched over. I know that there are issues in Larchmont with the Larchmont Association. Doesn't like to have a lot of tables and chairs and stuff like that. So this seems to be a good solution. The taco bar, you order at the window, you come in, stand, sit, have a taco, and out.
Yeah.
You said right now you don't carry any alcoholic beverages.
No alcoholic beverages.
Don't be sad, people. Don't be sad. But you are looking into that?
We are looking into that. They've been talking about it. They throw it back and forth, but getting a permit for that is kind of a little difficult. But we're planning eventually to have that because it would be perfect here because this wall looks so empty. It's just like asking to have alcohol.
It's asking to have something on it, right? So you guys are gonna be open every day?
We open every day. We open at 9 and we close at midnight every day.
Midnight?
Midnight every day.
Wow, those are some good hours because that's not common for this area.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the places close out 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You're gonna be working all of the closing shifts, right?
I'm gonna be here a lot, I'll tell you that. But I'm gonna be here most of my time, but I still need to go help out Westwood too. Can't leave it alone, But yeah, I won't be here most of the time, just checking in and like basically being cashier here.
Awesome. How is tell me about the ahi tuna.
The ahi tuna is raw with sliced avocados, and we put lime, sea salt, and our poke sauce. And our poke sauce is like really good. It's a spice, sort of oily type of flavor. It's really good. And it's served on a hard shell tostada. It's really good.
That's
Very popular.
What is your most popular item from experience?
So from experience, the most I've sold is probably the crispy fish and our fried chicken as well. Those are the ones like fried chicken taco. What's that? Like, you know, like they don't expect it. Like,
So tell me again all your locations.
so the Westwood location, the Los Feliz location, and of course our Larchmont location.
Brand new. So come check it out, any of the 3 locations, but grand opening this Sunday here on Larchmont Boulevard, and we'll let you know how it is. Thanks, man.
Okay, so it's the fried avocado with the poblano ranch slaw. The fried avocados fried with buttermilk, and then we top it with the sweet chili sauce, the fermented chili, and then the cilantro on top.
How difficult is it to bread avocado? Because
It's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
We took a while to find out the recipe. I really wanted to do it in really thin slices. I was like really head on about it. Didn't work out. So we had to find the right size. 'Cause
Right.
It can be too big to the point where the flour just gets stuck and it won't fry. So we obviously don't want that. And then finally, until we got it right.
I've only seen it one other time at a restaurant, a sushi place in Charlottesville, Virginia. They had avocado tempura.
That's so
and it was
cool.
amazing. So I'm really excited to try this.
We had it on, it was half an avocado. So that was really hard.
Wow.
Yeah, it was half. It looked great, but it was really difficult just because you would have that where it was undercooked in the middle.
Yeah.
But finally, we got it down.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to the next dish. We're going to try this out,
of
and
course.
we'll get it on camera.
Thanks.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm getting ready to try my first bite of their fried avocado taco. And let's see what it's like. It looks beautiful. Not sure I can get that in my mouth, but we're going to give it a try. Oh, yeah. Dave, don't worry. I got you, buddy. Well, it's really good. Light, flavorful. It's got a little bite on it. Very tangy. Coleslaw is nice and crunchy. It's not over sauced, which I like. The breading's perfect. I would highly recommend the fried avocado taco.
So here I have the fried chicken with the coleslaw and the spicy honey, and then it's topped with the fermented chili and cilantro. Next to it is one of our newer ones. It's the chili and sea bass with the red pepper aioli, the fried onions with the ponzu sauce, the fermented chili and the cilantro. And then the last one is the Korean barbecue with the marinated sweet chili sauce meat, and then the kimchi, avocado, and the fermented chili with the cilantro, and then lime and sea salt on top.
Fantastic.
Okay, well, as you guys saw, they just delivered out 3 different types of tacos. There was a chicken, a sea bass, and a Korean barbecue. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the chicken, fried chicken taco. Okay, it's got some spice to it. So it's not, kind of sweet. It's almost like an avocado one. It's a little sweet. And it's got a spice to it, a little bite to it. Now I gotta be careful because I can't do too much spicy stuff. I'll take my Tums when I get home. But it's got the coleslaw on it, which kind of cools it down with the spice, as well as the fried chicken. It's a nice crunchy piece of chicken in this thing. Wow, it's delicious. Awesome, you guys gotta come down and try their stuff.
All right, so we're next gonna try their Chilean sea bass taco. It looks like it's topped with some fried like onion strings and some peppers and what appears to be an aioli. All right, so let's give it a try. By the way, these shells are not a hard shell, sort of a soft shell. Nice and thin, got a little crisp on it in places.
gonna let you get in order right now, okay?
So, very good. Has a nice Chilean sea bass flavor. You get a little bit of the sear with the fried onions on the top. Adds a little bit of crunch. And of course, you've got that nice caramelized onion flavor on top of it. This is probably one of my favorite things that we've had here so far. I would eat that over and over again, even compared to, say, a fried fish. I think I like this better.
Okay, now this place is kind of like In-N-Out, but a lot better. They actually have a secret menu here. The next taco I'm going to talk about is their Korean barbecue taco. It is not on the menu, but you can get it.
You just want to it's good for them too.
Let's give this a try. I took a big bite.
I think I've been watching
Wow. It's got that sweet chili sauce on it, which I love. Not too spicy. It's got the beef. It's nice tender beef. It's not too hard, chewy or anything like that. The sweet chili sauce, got avocado, some cilantro. Fantastic. Again, it's not on the menu. Korean barbecue taco. Come and ask for it by name. Tell them the Bruise Brothers sent you.
So we're getting ready to try out one of their vegan options, which is a vegan banh mi sandwich. It is marinated tofu, so this is a new experience for me. I'm not a tofu eater. It's got crispy kale, lime sea salt, pickled carrot, avocado, crispy onions. It lists for $4.75 a taco, and look at it, it's beautiful. Let's give it a try here. I'm adventurous. I'll try anyone once. See what I did there? All right, let's see what we got. Okay, it's really good. It has a lot of different textures on it. A little salty, a little hint of citrus. I'm not bothered by the tofu. It's almost like it's not there because it takes on all the other flavors. They really charred it well, so it has the meat-like qualities. But I would recommend it if you're a vegetarian or if you're just trying to cut some meat out of your diet one day. The vegetarian banh mi taco right here at Tacos Tu Madre. All right, Dave, that was a good show.
I think it went pretty well.
Went pretty well. Lots to do. If you've got new ideas for us, we'd love to hear it. Just put them on the comments down there. Don't forget about our new show, which is Bruise Brothers Go. We're out visiting new and exciting places. We were at Hustler headquarters, and we're getting ready to go to Icon Coffee. Shit. We'll put it up. Getting ready to go cover a microbrewery downtown. So we'd love to see, we'll get that up for you in a week or so.
Exactly. And you know, if you like our show, please give us a thumbs up on our YouTube channel. We'd really like you to come out to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Also, you can find us on Facebook. If you do give us a thumbs down,
don't ever do that, but if you do, give us a reason so we can make the show better. If you don't like what we're doing, just be nice. Don't be a troll.
Or watch something else. But tell your friends. We're always looking for ideas, guests. If you have something really awesome going on, if you have something special that you'd like to share with our world of the Bruise Brothers.
We're looking comics, actors, comedians. Did I say that twice?
Yeah.
Dancers, strippers. We don't care.
Exactly. Business owners.
People. Are you a writer? Do you have an interesting business that you run? Are you an entrepreneur? We want to talk to you. We want to tell people your story.
Exactly. And we're always looking for sponsors. So if you'd like us to review a product or service or food, We like food.
We like food. We love to review food. Yeah, just to give us a shout. And you can reach us. I'm on Instagram at The Dance Stew and Twitter. And Dave is at...
You can find me, just Google David L. Peters. You'll find me everywhere.
David L.
Peters.
Actor.
Exactly. Entertainer.
All right.
All that
We'll
stuff.
see you next time.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Take care.